friends, and welcome to the Adelaide Cottage podcast. My name is Shauna, and I am recording from a suburb of Buffalo, New York, where I was born and raised, and where I live with my husband, our 2 small boys, and our 2 cats. Thank you so much to anyone who is returning. Thank you for coming back to spend some more time with me, and if you're a new viewer, I hope you find something today that you enjoy and that you enjoyed it enough to subscribe and come back. You can find me on Instagram, Ravelry, and Etsy as Adelaide Cottage. And now I also have a Facebook group. If you're interested in joining, please come and join. It's called Adelaide Cottage Yarns, and it's just a place to chat about your knitting projects, crochet projects, and then I'll put news about shop updates and things there as well. Thank you everyone for your kind words and your comments from the last video. I really enjoy reading through them and responding whenever I'm able to. I do read all of the comments, but sometimes time does not allow to respond to every single one. But I think I've been doing an okay job at it. So please, if you'd like to leave me a comment below, feel free. I have a couple of questions and answers from those comments that I will get to in a little while. But I did want to talk a bit about the shop, which I usually put at the end, but today I'm doing it first just to get it out of the way so I don't forget. So normally, our Etsy shop is open, and I am going to have one more shop update with Etsy, and then Adelaide Cottage Yarns is moving to their own website. So I'm super excited. The website is being built right now, so to speak. But it's allowing me to personalize it a lot more and make it a little more user-friendly. So I'm very excited. So I'm planning on having a shop update this Sunday. What is the date? I think it's the 19th. I'll put that information below, and it will also be in the announcement section in the Etsy shop as soon as it is decided for sure. The reason why I'm hesitating and saying maybe this Sunday is because I have an exciting trip coming up. I am going to Oregon this Thursday, the 16th of July, to visit Jilly of the Knitting Broomstick podcast and Etsy shop. And so is Sarah of Love Sock Wool podcast and Etsy shop. So it's going to be an amazing weekend. We're both flying into Oregon on Thursday, and we're flying home on Monday. Sisters Oregon is having their annual quilt show that weekend, and so that's why we picked that weekend. We thought it would be really fun to go there and look at all the quilts hanging around the town and everything. So very excited. So basically I'm hoping to have all of the yarn that I dye tomorrow dried, skeined, in the computer, ready to go, so that all I have to do is hit publish on Sunday for the update, and then I can mail everything that Tuesday morning when I'm home. If it doesn't work out that way, the shop update will be early next week, like Tuesday or Wednesday. So just kind of keep an eye out on Instagram and in the Etsy shop, and you'll know for sure. So a couple of, my bookmark is like shredding. Sorry, I have my show notes here, so if you see me looking down, that's what I'm looking at. I have a couple of questions that I'd like to answer from the comments in the last video. Somebody asked what the display board was that I usually have right here, but I moved it so that I don't forget to show you what it is. That's where I hang all my progress keepers. So if you're a cross-stitcher and you're here, progress keepers are usually used in knitting or crochet to mark your progress, where you start, and it's just a fun little charm basically on a lobster clasp, and then you can see how far you've knit. So this is, I have an addiction. I have a lot of them. Many of them were gifts, and many of them I purchased. So I like to theme my projects my knitting project. So for instance, if it's a Christmassy type of project, I would use something like a cute little Christmas cookie, Christmas tree. A lot of these are from the Gnome Knitter on Etsy. This was a Gilmore Girls themed one. This is Gilmore Girls. Some of them I made. So yeah, it's just fun. So this is basically just a frame that I purchased at Michael's, but you can use any frame and then just put chicken wire in the back, and then you'd be able to hang your charms up. So that's what that is. I have a lot of them. The other question was cross-stitch related, and the question was, why use large fabric for multiple projects and what size? So I think it's personal preference. The only time I use super big fabric and put multiple projects on it is, I don't really know why. You know what? I prefer larger fabric because I actually stitched something that was that big, like the fabric was that big, and the thread, as I pulled it through, kept getting caught on the edges. So when you have, especially when you're stitching in hand, when you have a larger piece of fabric, I feel like that prevents the thread from getting caught when you're sewing through it. So that's why I do it. Yeah, I do have one cross-stitch project to show you today that I made a little bit of progress on, but it's mostly been knitting the last few weeks. And that's how I get, I'm always knitting, but sometimes I add another craft in there. So I have a little bit of quilting to show, I have a bunch of knitting, and I have a little bit of cross-stitching. Let's see, we do have giveaway winners. We have some pattern giveaways from lovely designers who were generous enough to donate a copy of one of their patterns to the podcast, so that will be coming up. But first I'm going to start with my cross stitch since I don't have that much. I'm going to show you that, and then I'll go into knitting. So what I worked on when we were camping was this. This is by Silver Creek Samplers. It's a really cute Christmas design. So I'm way up here. And I'll show you what I have so far. And this is on a big piece of fabric because this project is going to be big. But this is what I have so far. So I did most of the little car, I just have to do the tires. I needed to get more 310, which is the DMC black. But I love all the color changes in here, the little Christmas lights. So this is being stitched on 28 count coffee and tea dyed Monaco, which you can get at almost any craft store and online. So I did do a little bit of that when we were camping, and the rest is all knitting, guys. I've been just wanting to knit all of the things lately. I wish I had time to stitch all the things too, but you know, there's only 24 hours in a day, and when you have 2 small kids and trying to keep them busy during the summer, you just don't have all the time to craft. So as far as knitting, I do have a half-finished object. I have my rainbow sock. So I joined, you might have seen on Instagram, I'm now doing the IGTV mini videos. They're different than the Instagram stories. So if you're on your main Instagram feed, if you click on the little television icon in the top right corner, you will see little mini videos from people that you follow. And I believe that you can see my back videos as well if you're interested. But they have to be less than 10 minutes. And I name them Coffee with Shauna because it's always when I'm having my coffee in the morning. So anyways, you might have seen this project if you watch that because I like to show what I'm working on. So I joined the Kale that Jewels of So Sweet Violet podcast and Etsy shop, as well as Amy of Little Tailoress podcast and Etsy shop, and Dandelion Dogwood Yarns. They're both hosting a rainbow Kale. So you can knit crochet, craft, anything rainbow. I think it has to be at least 5 colors. So I decided to do some scrappy socks. I went through my basket of mini skeins and scraps and got together a bunch of colors of the rainbow. So this is what, let me put it on the sock blocker actually. I finished one of the socks and I started the other one, which is half the battle, right? Starting that second sock. Okay. So this is my one rainbow sock. What I did for this one is I did 10 rows of each color. So I started with 2x2 rib for 10 rows. And I knew I wanted them to be shorties, so I didn't make the cuff too big. These are all Adelaide Cottage yarns. I don't know what this is. These are all Adelaide Cottage yarns, and I don't know what the red is. So these two are not our yarns. And then the toe and the heel are Deborah Norville Serenity Sock in the soft white colorway. So like I said, 10 rows of each, and when I switched colors, I did a knit one, slip one all the way around for the first row of each new color, just to give the color change a little bit more interest, I guess. What did I do? Oh, and then I did an afterthought heel using the Kirby Werby YouTube video tutorial, which I'll try to remember to put in the down bar for you if you're interested. You don't use any scrap yarn with this method. So basically I just knit, 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 skip the heel, knit, 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 and then knit the toe in, and then went back and did an afterthought heel, and I really, really liked it. When we went to 4th of July fireworks, we went to the carnival first, and I was knitting on these, so these will always remind me of that. So lots of fun. For the update, I'm thinking of putting some rainbow mini skein kits in the shop, 10 gram mini, so keep an eye out for that if you're interested. And then I cast on the second sock, and I'll show you how far I got. It's not far at all. I think I'm on color 2, but I just cast on for them yesterday. And these I'm knitting with my ChowGoo, dropped one, ChowGoo DPNs. And that's how far I am. I decided to do the colors the same. I was gonna flip-flop them and start with the red at the cuff, but I asked Jason, my husband, he's like, no, I think these ones should be symmetrical. And for this one, since it's summer, I have a cute little ice cream cone progress keeper. And this was a charm that I found at Claire's Boutique inside of Toys R Us before Toys R Us closed. Can you guys believe Toys R Us closed? For those of you in the US, that's like our main toy store. Like ever since I was little, that's really the only big toy store there was. You know, there's stores that sell toys, but this was just toys, and it closed. So that's a bummer. But that's where I found that cute little charm. So I cast on 56 stitches on US size 0, 2mm needles. That's just my sock recipe. I like a nice tight fitting sock. I think the next socks that I cast on will be 60 stitches though, because these were, they fit nicely, but the cuff, maybe I just need a different cast on. I use a long tail cast on. Is there a stretchier cast on that you guys would recommend for socks? Let me know in the comments below if you have any suggestions. I'm always willing to try new things when it comes to sock knitting. But I'm really enjoying seeing those color changes. They're all really bright, fun, summery colors. So, and I have it in this little summer gardening bag that I made. Drawstring. What else do I have? Oh, I cast on my son's sweater that he wanted in our Nerf colorway. He wanted a colorway that looked like his Nerf gun. And so I came up with this colorway, and this is what the cake looks like after knitting half of a sweater. So it's grays, creams, oranges, greens, blues. And I decided to do the Flax Light. I don't remember if I started this the last time I recorded. I don't think I did. I'm pretty sure I showed you the yarn though. Iced coffee today. It's hot out. So this is how far I am. I cast this on when we were camping as well. We camp a lot. I love camping. So this is what I have. I'm using my ChowGoo interchangeables. And the sleeve, if you can see, has a section of garter stitch on the top on each side. So now I have to knit about 9 inches from the bottom of the armhole and then do the bottom ribbing, and then I go back up to knit the arms. But this was a really simple pattern. It's a free pattern on Ravelry if you don't already know. It's pretty popular. What size am I using? These needles are US size 4, 3.5 millimeters. I think it's a pretty tight gauge. I like the fabric that it made. Yeah, that's about all I can say about it. I actually knit this at the drive-in the other night. We went to the drive-in movie to see Incredibles 2, and I knit this in complete darkness because it's just stockinette from here. And I was really surprised when I got home. I looked to see if I had any drop stitches, and I didn't. So that was exciting. That was my first time knitting in the dark. So once I get this off the needles, I'm going to cast on. There are 2 things that I want to cast on. 2 garments, and I'll talk about those in a minute. But camping, you guys, the last trip that we went on, we went to Allegheny State Park in New York. It's kind of like half of it's in New York and half is in Pennsylvania. And we were the only campers in that whole loop. We camp in Cane Hollow in Allegheny. That's just the name of the campground there. And we were the only campers there for the first 4 days. And I'll try to post some pictures, but it was so peaceful. There were just woods around us and the sounds of nature, and it was perfect. And I get so inspired when I go camping to work on tons of projects and even design things. Like I'm sketching out designs. So it's very inspiring when I go. I do have a finished object. If you didn't already see it, it's an elephant in the room. This is my Comfort Fade cardigan by Andrea Mowry of Drea Knits on Instagram. I knitted out of Adelaide Cottage yarns in our DK weight. And all the colorway names are in Ravelry, but they were kind of one of a kind. I knit the medium size. I kind of wish I would have knit the small. It's very, it's oversized on me. A little bit more than I would have liked. But I do like it. It's a nice cozy cardigan. I'll try to post pictures here so that you can see it on me. So that was a fun knit. Let me see, what else did I want to talk about? Oh, I wanted to mention really quickly before I forget advent calendars for the shop. This is completely out of order. I already talked about shop news. But I think we have about 3 advent calendars left. So if you don't know what those are, it's every day in the month of December leading up to Christmas, you will have a box with individually wrapped mystery 20-gram mini skeins. So you're going to get 25 20-gram mini skeins. And now I have an option to add a full skein on if you want. So I think I have 3 left. I'm not adding any more slots after these are gone. So if you're on the fence and you're not really sure if you'd like one, or you know you want one but you're waiting, I would say go ahead and get it if you would like and you're able to, because I won't be adding any more. But there are other wonderful dyers who are offering them this year too. So, but I did want to say, a few people asked if I can add a full skein option, because some people like to have that full skein surprise to open on Christmas Day or on Christmas Eve for a Christmas Eve cast on. So I went ahead and put a separate listing in my Etsy shop. So if you already purchased an Advent set, you can go ahead and purchase one of the full skeins if you'd like. I would say to do that sooner rather than later, because I am going to be dyeing those fun brand new colorways very, very soon, so that everything's ready and I can start packaging. Oh, I wanted to show you what my cast on plans are. So when we're in Oregon, I came up with a special colorway for our trip that I have, Sarah has, and Jilly has, and it's called Vintage Quilts, because we are going to the quilt show. And this is it all caked up. Mine is on our Golden Twinkle Stellina base, but these are going to be socks, and I'm not sure if I'm going to do a pattern sock or a vanilla. Haven't really decided, but we all decided that we're going to cast them on together when we're together, so that it's just a special project. So that's caked and ready to go. And then I want to knit a Tenya by Caitlin Hunter. So this is Adelaide Cottage yarns, again in the Golden Twinkle. I can't get enough Stellina lately. In the Dolores Umbridge colorway, which is one of our Harry Potter inspired colorways. She was kind of dark and mean, but she always wore pink and like tan pantyhose. So that's where this colorway came from. I thought it would make a really nice tee. So I'm excited about that. I really want to cast it on, but I'm trying to finish that Flax light pullover for my son before I cast anything else on. You probably hear my boys screaming and playing. They're fine, they're just playing. I made a quilt since the last time we spoke. This is for my aunt and uncle. And I put the interfacing in the middle and backed it. Now I just have to cut around the edges. Or no, I have to actually quilt it still. So this is kind of what it looks like. I won't show you the whole thing because it's kind of repetitive, but I did a jelly roll race quilt using the Missouri Star Quilt Company tutorial on YouTube. Super fast to do the quilt top. You just use a jelly roll, and I put the batting in the middle, and I backed it with this yellow fabric, and now I just have to quilt, stitch in the ditch along a few of these strips, and then bind it. So that's about 75% done. I did get some Harry Potter fabrics. I think I showed you in a previous episode I do plan to make a Harry Potter quilt. A Quilt As You Go, Made Modern, book by Jared Brandvig. That's where most of my quilting inspiration comes from. I'm thinking of doing the Rainy Days quilt or doing a log cabin quilt. So I have this one. Sarah of Love Sock Wool told me that Joanne's got some new Harry Potter fabrics in, so I went and picked up 3 yesterday. This is one of them. Yeah. And then this one, because it represents all the houses. And then this one, you guys, it's like a vintage Quidditch. Oh my gosh, I love it. It's like the rules of the game, and it looks like a vintage, old-timey newspaper. I love this so much. So I have so many plans for quilts, you guys. I don't know when I'm going to get to this, but I'm still collecting fabrics. There's a few more on Spoonflower that I purchased and I'm waiting for. So it's going to be a scrappy, really cool Harry Potter quilt, I think. All right, let me show you some acquisitions and then we'll do giveaways. There are 2 bag patterns that I purchased. This one is from it's called the Take Along Tote by Sometimes Sewing. So it's by the Never Not Knitting on Instagram. She has beautiful knitting designs out there. So I got that. And then the Wee Bra Bag by Laura Cunningham. It's got these little pockets on all 4 sides, like 2 on the front. I believe there's 2 on the sides and then 2 on the opposite side. Or at least it looks that way. But it's drawstring and it's really cute. I thought this would be really cute to make to put all my enamel pins on because I don't really have like a non-novelty bag to put all my really pretty pins on. I have so many really cute enamel pins and nowhere to put them. So, and I'm sorry, the designer's name is Alana Dacos. So she has a lot of really pretty knitting designs and a shop that has like fabrics and patterns and knitting notions, and she's also the author of a children's book and maybe even more than one. But I heard about and saw this pattern from In a Pickle Knitting, Donna, who's the host of that podcast. Go check her out if you haven't. I just adore her and her podcast. And she has a Etsy shop as well where she sells hand-dyed yarns and project bags. But I heard about this on her podcast and ran over and got myself a copy. I have a lot of fabric to sew through. And then I also purchased this I Love Handles wrist ruler bracelet. This is the package for it. I got this one at Fancy Tiger Crafts website. Let me show you what it looks like on. But my cousin Dana purchased one at a local yarn shop when she was away on a trip, and I had to go on a hunt for one because I thought it was so cute. So that's what it looks like, and so you don't need a measuring tape when you're knitting. That was my thought process. And this is the medium brown in 15 inches, just in case you were wondering. They have different lengths and colors. They have a dark brown, a light brown. This is the medium. I think they have a gray. They have a black, but I really love this color. So I got that, and then I also picked up more of my favorite needles, the Chowgu Twist Red Lace Interchangeable. I got a 37-inch cable and a US size 3 needle for my Tenya. I already have 2 of these, but they have whips on them in this size. And then I purchased this for cross-stitching long dog samplers. It's called Quilts with the Z at the end. It's a very primitive, let me see if I could focus. I don't think it's going to focus with this glare. It's a very primitive design and primitive colors, I think. But I also went ahead and bought a lot of the, there we go, a lot of the flosses for it. And that's called Quilts. And then the called for flosses. I received a couple of birthday presents. I was spoiled by you guys. So I'm not going to show you every single thing, just a couple things from each person. So from Gisela, who has sent me a beautiful package before. She sent me a really pretty handmade birthday card with this cute little English paper piecing cover. I just love that little bunny. And she sent me this beautiful 5x5 inch pack of fabrics. So pretty. These prints are just lovely. And some scissors. Little snip scissors. I love them. They're perfect for cross stitch and knitting. And then she sent me a few other things as well. So thank you very much, Gisela. My friend Lynn sent me some scissors as well. A beautiful card that looks like Rae Dunn. I love it. It is Rae Dunn. Look, Rae Dunn! So cute. Beautiful card. She knows how much I love camping, so she sent me these camping towels, which we needed so badly, in all honesty. We didn't have any, like, you know, hand towel size towels for our camper, so these are so perfect. It's a 2-pack. And a few other things she sent me as well, and including this Rae Dunn notes, you know, a notepad. So thank you, Lynn. I already thanked you, but thank you again. And then I had my annual swap with my friend Emily, who's a fellow stitcher, and she sent me this beautiful card. And we do a stitching, we stitch a small for each other. So she stitched me this. Are you guys ready for this? It's beautiful. Peace be with you, my friend. It's gorgeous. And she has a lace trim, and it's backed with this beautiful green fabric. Lots of other goodies in there as well. She sent some needles and needle tin, cross-country stitching magazines, which I still need to sit down and look through because I love so many of these designs. And I sent some to her in her package as well because we both really enjoy the designs. She sent lots of little things, but a lot of things are in use already. Okay, so let me do the giveaway. The winner of, you guys, I have stuff all over the place right now. Here we go. Spirits and Spells by Brenda Gervais, and this 8x8 Cancer Survival Q-Snap cover that was made by me. The winner of both of them is Jacqueline Stabell, S-T-A-E-B-E-L-L. So congratulations, Jacqueline. Please email me at the email address that's listed in the down bar and put prize winner in the subject line and give me your full name and address so that I can mail these out to you. Congratulations, and thank you all for participating. Also, I wanted to mention the winner of the DPNs from the last video, Dottie Robbins. Can you please email me and verify your address? If you can send me another email, put prize winner in the subject line and just verify your address for me, I will get your prize out to you as soon as possible. My email address is in the down bar, AdelaideCottage@yahoo.com. So that's fun. Oh, you guys, I bought the magazine called, I want to say Lane, but I think it's pronounced differently. I should have looked it up. But I recommend it. I didn't bring it over here to show you, unfortunately, but it has the Lata dress in it, which I really want to knit. And I think there's 6 or 7, maybe 8 designs in there, and I would knit every single one of them. The magazine is very high quality. It's beautiful to look at, and the patterns in it are gorgeous. So definitely go take a look. I bought it at Fancy Tiger Crafts online when I bought this bracelet, but they have it at a few shops online. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything, and then we're gonna do some pattern giveaways and announcements. Oh, a book that I read that I highly recommend is called Big Magic. A book about creativity and how to not be afraid of your creative side. There's some stories in there that are amazing. I listened to the audiobook and I would highly recommend it for anybody who has any creative inkling in them, because it was just, I want to listen to it again. It was a really good book. There is a pattern, this one isn't a giveaway. I have 3 pattern giveaways, but this one is an announcement. Nordic Stitches, who is Lily, designed a beautiful pattern. It's a shawl, and it's called Granny's Geraniums. It's a beautiful triangular shawl. I'm going to insert a picture here. And 50% of her proceeds are being donated to cancer research, which is something that's very near and dear to my heart, and I'm sure many of you as well. So definitely a good cause if you're looking for a beautiful shawl to knit, to go ahead and purchase that from her. Again, it's called Granny's Geraniums. The next pattern is by Mina Phillip, and it's called the Changes Shawl. This one has been out there for a little while, but I somehow missed her very generous message telling me that she gifted me a copy and one for the podcast. So thank you so much, Mina. You are such a talented designer. I love every single one of your patterns, honestly. And this Changes shawl is multicolored. It uses approximately 1,600 yards of fingering weight yarn, so it's a great stash buster. You need 2 skeins in your main color, and then 10 20-gram mini skeins for contrast. So this is also a good project to do for with your Advent mini skeins. That would be really good. So thank you so much, Mina. She's giving a copy to you, so head over to the Ravelry group if you're interested in winning this pattern. The link will be below in the down bar, and there will be a prompt for you to answer, for you to be entered to win the copy of the pattern. The next one is by Jen Sheelin, and it's called, she donated 2 of her new patterns. The first one is Springtime Melody. Which uses about 800 yards of yarn. It's a 2-color shawl. And then she also donated Bride by the Sea shawl, which is a crescent-shaped shawl, and it looks like waves. It's really pretty. It's kind of like a chevron pattern, but it looks like waves. There will be a separate thread in the Ravelry group with a prompt to answer if you're interested in winning either of these patterns from Jen Sheelin. The last one is from Naomi, who is Cozy Cute Knits Designs, and she donated the Only Way Is Up cowl, which was inspired by the Up Disney movie, which is really cool. So in the cowl, you'll see little bubbles almost that look like balloons. So that's kind of where she got the inspiration from. It uses about 400 to 450 yards of fingering weight yarn, and she used 5 20-gram mini skeins for this cowl, so another great way to use minis. So thank you so much, Naomi, and Jen and Mina, for donating your beautiful patterns to the podcast. So if you're interested in any of these, head over to the group, make sure you're a member of the group, and you answer the prompt to be entered to win, and I'll announce those winners on the next podcast. I think that's it for today, you guys. This is getting kind of long, and I feel like I was all over the place today, so I'm sorry. If you enjoyed the video, I would appreciate if you give me a thumbs up and subscribe, and then hit the bell as well next to your subscription button, and it will notify you when new videos are up. Again, you can follow me on Instagram at Adelaide Cottage, Same thing on Ravelry. And now the Facebook group is live. So thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you are all well, and I will see you next time. Bye.